And this is what whoever you're talking to is listening for. This is what buy-in is. Buy-in means, which I'm trying to get from you because I'm selling you, buy-in means, is what the guy's saying, does it make sense? Does it feel right? Not good, but feel right. And is it doable by normal people? I mean, regular people. You know, do you have to be a shrink to do this stuff? So does it feel right, make sense, and does it seem doable? That's what buy-in is. Also, I want to do a little psychological housekeeping. A number of you, in fact, I think there's a sizable part of you would not want to trade places with me right now. And what I've discovered is that when people like I or motivational speakers speak, even if we're making sense and it feels right and it's doable, what a lot of people in the audience will say is, well, that'll work for you because you're up there and you have guts, and we don't. How many have ever sensed that? You know, when you get someone who's just rah-rah and they're over the top and you're saying, well, it's sort of making sense, but I couldn't do that. How many have had that feeling, that kind of disconnect with, you know, some of these, you know, motivational speakers, and that's why you don't translate it. So here's the psychological housekeeping. Because I am more like you than I am like them. I am a role-specific extrovert. Role-specific extrovert. And what that means is I am painfully shy. In fact, I often never show up before I speak because you'll say, who's the guy in the suit in the corner by the chip dip? You know, and then, you know, after I speak, give me a few glasses of wine, I'll speak to the wall. And it's a very good listener, by the way. You know, if you want to be listened to, speak to the wall. But so I am saying that because I need to put that aside. If I gave in to the painfully shy part of me, you know, you wouldn't have any confidence in me. You would say, what does he have to offer? And all of you can do that. All of you can take a part of you and put it aside. Now, many of you, and what I'm trying to help you with, many of you are not the best listeners. Just ask your spouse. And there is a way to sort of put being a lousy listener aside and just listen. Here's the other part of psychological housekeeping. I talk slower. I'm not going to slow down now, but I talk slower than most speakers. And when I speak to technology groups with people who are, you know, around 30 or under, some of them think I'm a little retarded. And I got my Medicare card, so if I am retarded, I'm getting treatment for free. But really what it is I talk with people. When you're doing hostage negotiation, you got to talk with them. You talk at them, you talk over them, you get a picture of their trigger finger and it'll get twitchy. You talk with them and it relaxes. How many of you have had the experience of being talked with or talking with another person and notice that it's a slower tempo than when you're talking at or even to informative? Raise your hands. Yeah. And it's interesting, when you talk with someone, or they talk with you, now if you're rushed, you know, maybe you don't have time for that, but how many of you noticed that both they and you lean more into the conversation, and as Tom was saying, they don't check out like, you know, get away from me. How many have had that experience when you're in that with thing?